Keeping your cat's claws dull can be quite the task, especially if you have multiple cats in your home and numerous pieces of sensitive furniture. If you've ever caught your cat, just giving the eye to something that you'd rather not have them notice, that can be a bit of a scare, just knowing that a few seconds of clawing could destroy something very, very important. And while the common route would be to trim those claws, what if that's just not an option for you, for whatever the reason? What are some other measures? Are there ways to keep the claws dull without having to trim? In today's material, I'll give you some options, ways to keep your cat happy and satisfied while making sure that your belongings are safe. Interesting topic, and I've got you covered. Stay tuned. When it comes to this topic question, we first have to define dull within the proper context. Since trimming is not in the cards, the main objective here is to simply find ways for your cat to use those claws in a constructive and useful way, which means keeping those claws away from your sofa. In the truest sense of the word, unless your cat is without claws, there really is no honest way to dull claws. The reason for this is because cats often use their claws in ways that result in either direct or indirect sharpening. And barring some type of injury, a cat with claws will have sharp claws, at least to some degree. As an owner, your goal here is really all about diversion, protection, but also diversion. Naturally dulling if possible, sure, but mainly diversion. And is common practice, one of the first diversions is a basic scratching post. Allowing your cat to scratch a sturdy post that is designed for the task will help to keep those claws away from the things that matter the very most to you. A scratching post, before anything else, it will give your cat an option away from your carpet, your sofa, your skin. Another measure to try, and this will be an easy work if your cat is already allowed to roam around your property and enjoy the great outdoors. It involves more of that, the outdoors. Unless your cat loves to utilize a property fence, for example, to sharpen claws, time spent outside could, and I stress the word could, potentially serve to dull your pet's claws. Depending on what they do outside, those claws could become a bit worn. That's sort of like sneakers. I guess that's the best example. A new pair of sneakers, if you wear them outdoors for a while, they'll develop a few scuffs along the way. Another measure to try, and this one has become rather popular over the years, and that's claw caps. And yes, they're pretty much what you'd think they are. Claw covers, sort of like covers for your kitchen knives. Claw caps fit over your cat's claws and act as a barrier between sharp claws and that precious curtain in your living room. In truth, shy of trimming, one can certainly make the case that claw caps are indeed the best way to dull your cat's claws. Another strong way to dull claws is with a nail grinder. One quick Google search can lead you in a very positive direction with respect to this option. In short, a nail grinder is a bit of a motorized nail file. If your pet has sharp claws, very sharp claws, perhaps sharp claws with a few jagged edges, the use of a nail grinder could take care of the problem in very short order. If your cat just naturally is rather comfortable with you holding the paws and touching the claws, this option could be exactly what you're looking for. Shop around, do your homework, and find the right device that is best for your situation. And speaking of a Google search and shopping around, I guess we could think of this one as Scratching Post version 2. A floor pad, claw pad, a scratching pad. I've heard it called many names, but in short, your cat stands on a special pad and just claws away. This measure can help your pet to remove jagged edges. And once again, a scratching pad is much better than your bed, your sofa, you name it. In many ways, you can think of a scratching pad as somewhat of a doormat for your pet. Another prevention method, and this is a lot like claw caps, and that's furniture protection. In the same way that claw caps can serve as a barrier between your cat's claws and your important household items, if you do have a few items, specific items, attempt to cover them if possible. Now, while I do understand that the process could be much easier said than done, applying a cover over a chair, for example, could be achieved in certain cases. Shy of removing furniture, the furniture item in question, from your living space, protecting furniture from your cat could be a sound move when it comes to protection from your cat's sharp claws. And before I close things out for this topic and turn things over to the wonderful audience of Senior Cat Wellness, The last thing I'd like to mention is a litter mat. Now, I don't have one of these, and I have rarely seen them put to use that often, but a litter pad is essentially a strip that is placed at the base of your cat's litter box. The objective here is sort of, I won't say to trick your cat, but it's certainly one of those two birds with one stone situations. As your cat makes that familiar motion to cover waste, they will strike this special mat. In the process, they'll file their claws. This could be quite the positive tool if your cat objects to the nail grinder I spoke of a bit earlier, and is also just not a big fan of rather blatant scratching posts and scratching surfaces. You could think of this as the nail filing edition of hiding medicine in a piece of cheese. And with that said, I think it's time to place a nice bow on this subject material, but before I get on out of here, let me stress once again that if trimming is not an option for you, keeping your cat's claws dull will be a task it's going to be hard to do. In this video, I touched on prevention, protection, in addition to a couple of dulling methods and practices. Depending on your situation, you could find yourself dabbling in all of them over the course of time, perhaps all of them at the same time. Personally, I'd see what a good nail grinder could do for your cat. I'd also be open to claw caps when it comes to prevention. Of course, so much of this depends on your home, the items and objects that are in your cat's environment on a daily basis, your cat's personality, what they're willing to tolerate and accept, and your overall personal goals. What are your reasons for wanting dull claws? Is it to simply keep the furniture safe? Is it a furniture issue? Or is it to protect young children and the elderly in your home? Every situation will naturally be a bit different. This is why it's important to conduct your own evaluations and take the best road for you and your situation. To the audience of Senior Cat Wellness, it's now your time to shine. What did you think of the recommendations? My pieces of advice? Have you put a few of these in practice? Good results? Poor results? And is there anything else that you'd personally recommend with respect to dull claws or clawing prevention measures, let's call them? Your personal stories and your personal opinions, all of the above? Comment section. It's all yours. And if you enjoyed this content, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I'd certainly love to have you as a member of the Senior Cat Wellness family. And until next time, thank you so very much for watching, and I will talk to you later.